Guys, how are you? Hope you are well. I did a full reinstall of most of my streaming stuff, so my face lighting is being weird today, but that's okay. Um, we're gonna mostly be on the desk doing fun stuff all evening. Hopefully everybody is well. Hopefully the week treated you well. I had a stomach bug for the earlier parts of the week, so that was a little tricky. So I don't know. I was a little quiet on the streams this week, but I think I have a fun project because I am really looking forward to this one. I saw Pam in the chat. I saw Blossom in the chat. Other people, if I did not see you, oh, you can ignore it. I don't know why Nightbot's being stupid. Hang on, let me disconnect it. It did that before with emoji things, and it's really annoying. Nightbot, I tell you to behave. Let's see if we can tell it to behave. It has moments. Let us see. Oh, oh, okay. I don't know. Hopefully it'll behave. Feel free to ignore it. If it's stupid, I'll just disconnect it. Hey, Elise, how are you? Welcome, welcome. Anyway, I don't think I have a ton. Most of the week was really spent prepping for stuff, but there's lots of things. Oh, hey, Shanna, how are you? Welcome. Hopefully my chat still works. Yeah, we do still work. Yeah, I think it's just I got spam. I think I got timed out in Lynn's chat. Let me just boop down to the desk. Anyway, because we have lots of fun stuff, and some of it kind of has to do with crafting, but it's mostly a crafty night. Let us see. Oh, I bet not. I mean, I feel like in the some cat is up to something. Now, in the world of things, this is probably not the most worrisome one. Did like a little pop-up live this afternoon because I got my neon pace from Ranger, the new Simon Hurley ones. This is not that. This is my sort of reference neon, which is this Liquitex Basics. Whoop, I'm not on camera because I don't know what I'm doing. Um, which is kind of my go-to neon. It is super matte since it's an acrylic paint, but you can always make it shinier if you want to. So then I was sort of doing some head-to-head swatching. This is the new neon pink hot mess. I think that is. We'll see how we do. Um, and this is prom queen. And now that as it dried back, it got a lot more neon than it looked when it was wet, which was really interesting. I wasn't really anticipating that. And head to head, when they're dry, you don't see a big difference in the shininess. Like they're both shiny. I know Elizabeth said when she was testing, like the neon range, the neon lunar pace had less of a shimmer, but these two are look almost identical to me. This one you see a big difference, right? Because this is Guppy, which is just a beautiful color. I want to play with this color. I don't know if we're going to use any of this stuff tonight, but I may save these as swatches though. This is Tangent, which is the neon orange. It is a very true to color neon orange. But like the Guppy and the neon orange is like super different. Like you can see that the Guppy is like way more blingy. Lynn, hello. How are you? Oh, it's the same stupid thing that happened on your stream, Lynn, when I was spamming panda emojis. It just got all cranky and said like, "Hey, stop spamming emojis." I don't know. It's interesting. Now this one came out really good. This was actually a gym idea. Let's talk about what we have here. So we have Hot Mess. We have the turquoise blue, which is this one. Again, the turquoise blue versus clear skies. You can definitely see that there's a difference in the shininess. Anyway, so the turquoise and the pink overlay make a really nice purple in the middle, and it makes a really neat sort of like a really nice sort of messy gradient. I was just doing this using my finger and the lunar paste. Um, this is Liquitex Neon Blue, which is not very neon blue. This is the purple one, Mood Ring. And then this is Dark Frog, which is the green. I didn't really have a similar green, so I didn't swatch it up next to anything. So then this is the turquoise against clear skies, and then a gradient of the turquoise with the voltage, which is the yellow, which also makes a nice messy gradient. I like the pink and the blue one a little bit better. The gradients are fun though. I could see using those as like a background technique. And then I think we have, and then the yellows are really interesting. So this is Shooting Star, which it was sort of the sunshine yellow color that you've seen me use a few times. This is Yellow Jacket, which next to it definitely looks more orange, and then this is Voltage. The Voltage and Yellow Jacket are definitely a lot less blingy than the Shooting Star. All in all, I'm happy. I don't know, having if I had tried them first, would I have bought the bundle? I probably would have skipped the purple. And just looking at it on the website, I was very convinced that like this yellow jacket color I wouldn't be super thrilled with, but I actually really like it. Like this is a really good flower color. Like it's a very nasturtium kind of uh orange. Let me see what y'all are saying, because I've just been playing with swatchies. Yeah, I'm surprised I haven't gotten banned in your streams though. Just because I like to do I was like spamming that coffee panda emoji. And I'm not like a mod or anything like on your YouTube, so I don't know that it would leave me alone. Also on the desk, you might notice these are from Jim, who I believe is not here tonight because he is doing a dinner thing. And this is an Alcohol Inc. Easter egg, very similar to the one that Elizabeth was showing off. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to blind you. Really neat. Just alcohol, basically alcohol ink on top of a sublimation blank. And there are tons of these available, so I'm kind of curious to try that. But really thoughtful gift. I thought that was cool. And then these are done with the mini waffle maker and the super chunky embossing powders. You get a lot of glitter in these. Oh, you can really see the glitter on the bunny. You get a lot of glitter in these, but I actually think like the alcohol ink one is like looks way more sophisticated. So that all came. And then I got some fun cards from my family. This was actually a funny one. This is a thank you note from my aunt from her birthday party. But she put a note in it that said, "This is actually from a local artist here in Wisconsin. If you want to check her out, there's her info." Um, but she said, yeah, like normal people just buy cards from art fairs, which is true. This is actually very thin weight paper. This is probably more like a 50-pound paper. So I don't know. I still like a beefier card base, but these are a really good option if you're a nut crafter. And Lennox is here, as you can see the paw right there. The paw, the camera nudge. We're going to help him off slightly. Come on. That's a good time. Anyway, let me put my swatches to the side, show you some of the other things. Really nice use of sepia and purple on this card. From my aunt for Easter, obviously. But I think this was interesting. This gives me some interesting options, I think, with some of the graphic 45 papers I know and love to buy a million times more than I need of. And then this was a neat one from my mom. I really like the daffodils here and like all the fun glitter. You see the glitter? You can kind of see the glitter. It's a very translucent kind of glitter. So that was sort of the speed run of projects. I am pretty sure. Might be slippery when wet. I haven't. Let us check. We could check because I know where exactly where it is. Hang on. It is this guy, which is I thought this was Shooting Star. Yeah, this is Shooting Star. Anyway, it may be reading weirdly on camera. That happens sometimes. Shooting Star is actually so I use Shooting Star in that for the sun rays in that bunny card, amongst other things. Yeah, I mean I think it's super weird, right? Because some of the times when these swatches like colors look really different depending on what they're next to as well. And it doesn't help that the camera readjusts to try and like get the color palette right. So some of it is likely auto camera adjustment, but you know. So it was a big week for mail for various reasons. Mostly there's a couple ATCs that happened at the end of the month with Lynn's group. So let us see what we have. We have, and this is not from that, we have a very cute stamp. I'll mask the address, but check that out. It's a cute little school bus stamp. Can you guess who this might be from? Can you think of any teachers who might be sending me a card kit? That's what it is. Oh, this is the new one too. Oh, I'm excited. So this month's KCC Premium Super Ultra Patron whatever card kit. It's not called that, but it's whatever, the $25 tier. That probably makes more sense. No, that's not true. I think maybe $10 tier and above get this, but anyway, it's one of her digital card kits. And after me being confused, oh, this is so cute. So after I was confused about what the QR code was, now we have like a really blatant label. But do that quick. You can scan the QR code. It's Cards by Kendra everywhere. Oh, and she uses, and these are these nice open top A2 holders. But we've got a bunch of circles and sequins and other things floating around. Speaking of card kits, I did drop 2 videos today on stuff I was doing for my upcoming card fair. So anyway, that's there if you're interested. These I think are the those cool birthday papers from Pink and Maine. Yeah, that are like very alcohol ink inspired. Which I'm waiting for the. I'm hoping that that paper pad just goes on sale by itself because there was another one Kendra was crafting with I really wanted. So there's a little person. There are. Is a gnome? What are we? Yes, we are a happy birthday gnome or a sticker. Almost feels like a sticker, but anyway. We will be playing with these at some point in the near future, though, because I think we had fun playing with these card kits. So maybe we'll So next weekend, we're probably going to be talking about craft fair, Madison Mingle stuff. I don't know how much crafting we'll do, but these might be good for that. Or I might be, depending how behind things I am, we might be cutting for so next Sunday, actually, I don't have it. I do not have it on here. So next Sunday, after this live stream at 7:20 my time, which is central, um, I'll be doing the final leg of the Kendra Card Challenge 14 kickoff. Do I mean 14 or do I mean 15? Anyway, uh, hang on one moment. You think I would remember which number of a challenge the thing is? KCC 14. Okay, so there's gonna be lives starting in I think about noon, going through the entire set with all the little crafters that you know and love, including Lynn. Yeah, I really like that paper. I want to buy that, but like I don't love the stamp that's in the kit, so I kind of don't want to buy the whole courtyard kit. I know T's enamored with it, but I think she already bought it. Um, but anyway, I am excited for that one. And there's like a graduation, wedding paper that's like this really pretty, like gold, cream, and black that I really want, but I'm also like waiting because I don't really want to pay shipping on just a single paper pad if I can avoid it. Anyway, I actually have Happy Mail from you, Lynn, I think. I do. This is from Lynn. Who knows what it is? It is, it's a something. It's a really pretty Better Press card. That is pretty. I believe, and we have, it's an ATC, but it's an ATC, but also a card, but an ATC. Oh, it looks like mine had the same problem as somebody else's. Um, there are very pretty shards of something in here, and you see. So I think the wax seal didn't survive the journey, but it is a very cool ATC. I'm curious. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird because I've gotten wax seals from you in the past, and I've never had this happen. So I don't know. This actually looks like there's glitter in it. I'll have to look for a video, but I assume it probably went in the center there somewhere. Anyway, very pretty. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. I will leave that because I want to look at the shards later on and see if there's I might save those. I feel like they would actually be pretty cool embellishments on their own. So yeah. Oh, okay. Well, that might explain it. Let's see what I got another one from Lynn. This is so the first one is so it oh, this is pretty. I love this in brown. I think you posted this and I like when ooey about it because I really love this in I love this in brown and orange. Hopefully there's a we'll see if there's a smash seal on this one carefully. Nope. Oh my god, you have the stamp set I love. It comes with a panda. There were strange cat noises. Anyway, how cool is this? Love this one. Really cool background too, I must say. And we have oh, is this a sticker? Yeah, this looks like a sticker. This is definitely a sticker. I can think of lots of things I would put a panda sticker on, so I am very happy. Thank you, Lynn. I appreciate that. We'll put these back in here. And I do like the Better Press cards. They're so pretty. And let's see what else. Oh, this is a card from my friend Elizabeth, who's sometimes here. I love that stamp though. That's like legitimately one of my favorite stamps Spellbinders has done. It says 2024. Oh, oh yay, I love these. This was a series of cards. She like did an amazing live where it was like maybe an hour and a half and she made like 20 cards. And this is from a Hobby Lobby pattern paper pack that she basically smashed the whole thing. And there's a very nice note on the inside. And there are and we have some extra little bits of ephemera because we all love a little extra ephemera. And I like these. I think these are 3 inch, but these 3x3s are really nice because you can basically just mat them. And then, if you recall the design I've been plagiarizing for a long, long time. This is from actually my live with Lynn. But like essentially this is the same idea. This is bigger obviously, but like you could just mat this out and then you can either put your you can either put your like vertical piece on the side or you can center it. Um and Jamie and Teresa have also tended to like center the piece, but then pop like this up. This has a little bit of a dimension because there's some foam tape in it. But anyway, very cool. One of my favorite designs in cards for sure. Thank you, Elizabeth. This is really cool. Really smooth ink blend too. I'm always impressed at people who get really nice ink blends the first time. and we have thing from one of my other swap buddies, I think, because this is from, wow, this is a freaking fancy card. This is from Sarah in Massachusetts. Really neat. Hello. Check that out of foil. I'm very impressed by people who can use foil and not get sticky stuff all over themselves. I really do. That big hug set, I think is one of my favorite Spellbinder sets. Just because it's so like positive and happy, and it's like it could be almost anything. Like you could use it for anything, really. And the sticker is great. Well, I've been like, I don't know, since I've been prepping for my first ever in-person event, like I'm sort of like, oh, there's lots of stuff I'd like to put stickers and logos on, especially if they're mine or my friends, because it's sort of a subtle way to figure out what's up. Oh, we have a very fancy, some fancy. Wow, two ATCs? This is very fancy. I do not deserve so much fancy awesomeness. This is from A Paper Moment. Check out this. Oh, this is like a vellum envelope. Can you guys see that? That is bomb. I don't know how she put this together. I guess I guess you just use like there's not tape, so it must be gusseted on the inside. Anyway, that's not the point. Love this. I mean, sunflowers are one of my favorite things. That may be foreshadowing our project tonight, but sunflowers are a thing I am really a fan of. And this pocket is really cool. I didn't know it was the longest time. It's only very recently I understood that vellum. Oh wow, that's really cool too. What a great style. Not mine at all, but like I love this kind of vintage stuff. It's just I'm always just impressed by like the skill it takes to collage well. But very cool. Beautiful card. I am certainly being blessed by all the awesome happy mail. And then this is from I'm not sure who. A magical person. I can guess based on the postmark, but we will see. I believe this is a swap buddy created by Alyssa. I am wrong. I thought this was an ATC swap buddy. Oh, it is. It's just as a fancy card. Check out these really dimensional paws. I'm really liking that. That's really cool. Nice summer vibes. This might be part of Danny's swap. I'll have to check. A nice. I didn't sign this so that you could use this. Oh shit! It must be an AT. No, this is an ATC button. Not to craft. What a silly question. Get your craft on. Very cool. ATC. Yep, this is from the LVHC swap as well. Very awesome. So now that we've done lots of stuff that isn't crafting, I'll give you a hint as to what we are making. It involves the Devil's Plaything, aka score tape, but I didn't prep anything. Well, I collected. I didn't actually prep, but the prep for this is pretty easy. But it's probably more than a card. So I grabbed the rest of my gnome patterns because what we're gonna make is basically like a 4-page folio, mini book, whatever, something. I don't know. My album terminology is not great. I also pulled this Grow with Love frame because I really liked it. When I'm basically the pages are all 4 by 6, so I think what we'll do is cut off this side and then we'll just sort of mat it like this. I think that'll look really cool. Anyway, we'll see. And then I kind of laid out these guys in spreads because I do like the look of like a full spread, basically like a two-page spread where the pattern paper is the same. I thought this would be cool for the middle spread, and then we can just collage a lot. The other option is if you flip this over, it's got a really nice B pattern on it, so we could also not collage, but I'm feeling in the mood to sort of collage and make it more artsy and less like functional as an album you'd actually do anything with. And then I think I'll just leave the back as is. So we have our paper, and this is going to be super easy to cut because we're cutting everything just to 4x6. And then we have a bunch of leftover ephemera. I'm thinking I definitely want to use there's a cute little, yeah, there's these cute little flying gnomes. I think those would be really cute, like in the sunflower field. That was kind of my vibe. And since the frame says grow with love, I feel like that's sort of a good jumping off point. And then I'll show you some other cool stuff you can do because you're probably saying, gee, there's so much of that paper floating around that you trimmed off all the pattern paper. What is going on with that? Hey, Martha, welcome. Hope you are well. Yeah, I don't know. I was kind of late to the bee trend, but like it quite a bit. Um, so And I did throw measurements in the description if you would like to craft along or do this later. This is actually a Lyric Lover Crafts, or I should say, the original of this is a 5-page album that Lyric Lover Crafts put out about 4 years ago. There's a link to her video, which, if you do the full thing, and if you saw the one I did for Blossom, that was the full size. Um, Basically the full size will re- require you to use a pretty much a whole paper pack. So if you're the kind of like if you're like a finisher person who really wants to sort of um bust through a whole paper pack, you may really like that. Let me just jump over one place here to pull up my measurements so I remember what they are. Do, 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 do. You'd think I would know my own measurements by now. So we're cutting everything horizontally to 6 1/4. And then we're cutting to whatever the size is for your page. So yeah, if you don't like guillotine trimmers, um, the next couple of minutes will not be fantastic for you. Anyway, so we want to cut the outer page we're cutting to 9 inches, which is this one. And then we're doing 6 1/4 to 8 3/4. So this is basically a thing you've seen before. I think both from me and also from Lynn, and also from a lot of pretty well-known crafters. This is going to be turned into a stacked hinge because basically what we're going to do as you see, we have two pieces that are almost the same size, but they're just a 1/4 inch different. While we're here, let's just cut. Well, we'll wait, and you can use a smaller one to actually cut our pattern paper because that's a little bit easier. But let me grab my scoreboard. Oh, the cat thought I was gonna like step on him. Oh goodness. PJB is here. Hello. Remi- So, and then we're gonna score this at 4.5 and flip it and do 4.5 basically. So, like, the nice thing about this is it's really easy to memorize if you like the look of the finished thing. So, go in at 4.5, and then we flip. Oh, maybe I scored. Did I score this? Oh, I scored this right. Then you flip it and do it at 4.5. So this is our smallest page. And you can go, and I like to burnish this right away because I'm that kind of person. I am working with the Spellbinders cardstock in Dune for no other reason than I had it and I like it quite a bit. So basically, what you're going to get for all of these, I mangled this slightly, but you're going to get a thing that looks about like this, but this spine dimension is going to increase, and that's going to give us our stacked hinge. So same deal. We're going to come in at 4.5 and then flip it. Oh wait, I think I scored that wrong. Let's. Because this should be slightly larger, so this would be maybe it's 4.25 and 4.25 because 4.5 is like exactly in the middle here. Anyway, let's try that. I think it didn't matter in the last one. Yeah. Well, good news. We have sort of an extra line we didn't need, but it probably won't matter. We may use some of our pattern paper to just cover this anyway, and having an extra score line shouldn't hurt us too much. To ignore that one, and then this is essentially what's going to happen. Ignore incorrect. So here we have the second page, here we have the first page, and then this all makes our little folio. So all we really need to do is attach these two pieces together straight the first time without screwing it up. Um, so yeah, we're gonna do that. And I found that with this, the nice thing since we put in this extra score line is we're gonna have something to conveniently to sort of I like eyeball. So basically, you're going to start from your smallest page. And here we only have one, but you're just going to put score tape down the back of the piece on the inside, if that makes sense. And then to quote my friend, you want to burnish a lot to really make sure that that score tape is adhered before we release paper. We'll use a little wet glue on this to give us some wiggle room. But basically, we want to see if this kind of hard to see. But in this spot, we want to center this in the middle of the spine so that we have basically a similar gusset all over the place. And because we did that oopsie, the oopsie actually gives us this line right down the middle that basically we just have to center on. And if it's not perfect, it's not the end of the world. But me being me, I would rather it be perfect. If you want a variant of this that actually has a little more wiggle room where you can construct the hinge first and then attach pages to it. Lynn's got a video out on that. Let me see. The Easter candy. Oh, well, that's sad. Nice to see you, Pam. Yeah, I mean, I think when you add more pages to this thing, this one's going to be a little smaller because I had sort of an idea for who I want to give this to, but yeah, I liked it too. I was a fan for sure. And don't mind me. We're just going to basically try and line this up. And the thing that's a little counterintuitive to my brain, yeah, it's pretty good, is that like you're leaving a gusset. So like your brain wants to, I think, like, put everything all the way even to the score lines. Oh, this is pretty good. So I'll tell you how to cheat. So if so that's what we got. And the wet glue buys you about a second of extra time, but as you can see, this one's a little tall. So we can actually fix that. What we can do is just grab our trimmer again, and like it's really easy for this, but you can even do it with a larger one. Is you want to get the whatever you want even basically situated in your trimmer, and then you just want to trim off the page that you don't want, right? And you trim off your little itty bitty piece, and then you get rid of it, and then it's totally flush, and it looks like you did it right the first time. That's my tip for success. The other way you can get the- uh, the other bad news, I guess, sort of, is like the other way you can get good at this is to just make a bunch of them. Um, and as you all know, I am a bit obsessed with corner rounding everything. So let's just use a 1/4 inch corner rounder to give this a little bit of a rounding, but not like it doesn't need to be crazy. And you can't actually do, if you sort of line these up, you can always do a couple of these at once because if you have a beefy corner chomper anyway. There we go. All rounded. This one of these looks a little wonky, so we can just go and re-round it. That looks okay, actually. Oh, it's this one that's a little screwy. Whoops. There we go. And this one also sort of it had a moment. There we go. Better. Love my chompers, that's for sure. Anyway, so the book is basically together, which is great. And the neat thing about this binding basically is the whole thing will fall really flat. So it's really good for stuff like recipe books, which was sort of the original Lynn inspiration, I believe. No, recipe book was mine, and Lynn had done a color swatch book. Anyway, so but like it gives you the ability to do this really nicely. So I am a big fan of this binding. I also like this particular setup because you can make these sort of mini books that are great at getting rid of your paper. So speaking of, let me cap my glue and we are going to cut up a bunch of paper and then then we will get the paper on and then basically worry about our decoration. Let me just put the frame back over there. We have, and the one thing, if you do it the way I did, you will probably want to pay attention to where you want your corners to get rounded. We can switch over to the baby trimmer. And since you have the ability to use this directionally, like this paper has more distressing on this side. Oh, sorry, I'm blocking the light. Has more distressing here and less on this side. So if you have a preference, if you want to look more, you can kind of figure out which way you like it. I kind of like it with the distressing, so I think I'll cut it this way. We do wind up using most of this stuff later, so do not discard this for another project. We will be using it in a moment. And I tend to like to mirror whatever I did on one side on the other, but personal preference, of course. There's no reason you can't use different papers in different places or stick them together. It's really your folio. And the nice thing about this double-sided paper is you can basically use the leftovers however you want. Depending on what's on the backside, you may want to use the backside, you may want to use the front. Obviously, Blossom has some hints as to like what we do with some of the scraps here, but this one we may do a little bit differently. We shall see. This one's hard to pick though, because I really like this would be kind of a neat spread too. I don't know. Let me cut it this way, and we can kind of piece it together. I was thinking more sunflowers, but I don't know. We will find. We'll see. That there, and I think we're pretty much good. So, kind of the next step on this thing is to figure out. Well, let me see if I'm missing things. Hey, Blossom. Oh, neat. Yeah. Well, I broke an Amazon very inexpensive corner chomper, and then one of my friends actually said that they had these We Are Makers chompers, had two of them that she never used, and I said, and she was like, "I'll send it to you if you pay shipping." So I did. Linda's here. Linda is here. Hello, Linda. How are you? Welcome. I hope you are well and had a happy Easter. So, and you think I'd remember how many of these you need if you're doing the full tutorial, but the short answer is a lot. So I want to use this as sort of the inner spread, I think. I think this will be the second. I do think I really like this pattern, but I think I want to use the flowers. I kind of want to like break up the flowers, I think, a little bit. So I do think I want to use the flower side of these. So I think this is sort of how it's gonna all mat out. And you can always grab your mini book and sort of work these one at a time. So this is gonna be how it's gonna mat. So I'm gonna want to trim these two corners. If you opted to trim, obviously you don't have to. Let me just dump my some of the extras. Hey, there's a panda. Hello, Pan. This is probably. Let us see. We are at a 1/4 inch. With some of these non-directional patterns, it matters less because if you do it on the wrong side, you can just flip it over. So this is going to be our cover. And then there's a frame over here somewhere that we're going to put over this. And that's going to give us sort of our initial vibe. So then we're going to go to page 2, which is going to be these sunflowers. These aren't really directional. So I kind of like them like this, I guess. Do I like it better this way? I guess I do, with the leaves are down. I guess that makes more logical sense in my mind, but you know, kind of depends on you and what you like as well. There we are. So that's our first spread. These, as long as they're sort of mirrored, should be fine. So the other thing you can do if you're using a corner chomper is you could just put them together and do it that way. Because as a corner chomper can definitely see, I think this is going to be a really cool spread. Like this would might be a good spread to leave sort of unmessed around with, at least on one side, just to use it because you could because these are 4x6. These are really nice for potentially the photo mat stuff. And we did lose a cut apart, well, a skin and cut apart on the back, which is a little sad, but anyway. And then we can, I guess it really doesn't matter because they're almost identical. Pretty much corner chopped. And then this will be our main in the middle spread. I think that'll look really cool. I really want to use some of the like flying gnomes that are like bee gnomes for whatever reason. And then I'll just leave the back blank, and if because I don't know, I may use another one of my stickers on the back. So like this is sort of going together quickly, although it'll go together really quickly once we grab some ATG. Because we can just use ATG to stick all these down. Because really it's just pattern paper and there's not going to be a ton to do. We're going to probably want to come back and work on the front a little bit. I'm happy eyeballing this though. Because I do want to come back and play with that frame. But I would like to give the ATG a little bit of time. You can also, like, especially for the cover, if you want, you can mix in some wet glue. Meaning you could add some white glue to the back as well, which would increase its strength. Although I don't know. Whoa, that didn't work as there we go. Double-sided tape was deciding to not want to stick very nicely. There we go. There it is. Yar, this guy down. See what we are chatting about. I am sure I am way behind. I am. Hey Jim, happy Easter. Good to see you again. Hi Dee, how are you? Welcome in. Hope you are doing well. Seeing if I missed anybody else. Blossom and Pam are chit chattering, which is awesome. And my cat is trying to paw the computer for some reason. But I really like projects like this where you can get to sort of the decorating phase quickly. Although I'm very glad that people make tutorials online on how to do the more complicated constructions. Uh, Definitely one of the projects I would like to do this year is like an actual wrap cover mini album because I think they just look super neat. Now this is our main middle piece, so I'm going to put this down. And what I'm thinking is we're just going to continue here. Okay. And feel free to sort of move the actual book around to sort of get it however you can most easily put it together. Because sometimes it's just easier to change your angle. I missed. Let's tape by the spine. Let's see. I did. There we go. That's better. And you can't actually use one of these leftover pieces to basically create like like a faux spine or a spine wrapping, or I don't know. Does that have a name? People who understand more about bookbinding and albums than me. Um, but you could take a piece like this, and we could cut this and cover the spine if we want to get rid of this line. Actually, I might do that. That looks really cute. That looks pretty cute together. Anyway, moving on. We only have one more layout. And as you add the pattern paper to this starts out at maybe about a 90-pound weight, but it gets pretty beefy. So it definitely has a fairly substantial feel when you're done. Ooh, sorry about that. Which is to say you're not going to send it for a stamp, but with a project like this, you're probably going to put it in a bubble mailer anyway. And if you are a fan of this type of project, well, I think Amber from Lyric Lover Crafts just released a new use your 6x6 paper project because it's sort of a request she gets all the time, which makes sense because a lot of people have 6x6 paper that's like left over from a project. And that's another thing you can do. Like my most of the albums I've done have been fairly like theme consistent, but you can actually use whatever you have. I mean, you can make it more of a junk journal kind of a vibe. I'm just rubbing off a little bit of the extra glue things. You can use and then I'm just going to leave the back as is. And we are doing really well. Like, it's been like an hour, and we talked about cards for most of that. And we've got the, I don't know, phase one done. So the first thing I want to do is kind of get this frame down and give it a little time to. I think the frame I'm going to just use a little bit of ATG just so that when I stick this down, it'll be a little easy. It'll sort of adhere while the glue is drying. So I can continue to work on this. And then I'm just going to use a whole bunch of PVA glue on it. This is from the Graphic 45 collection I'm currently most obsessed with, which is the Grow with Love, which has this really awesome piece that's like it's almost looks like seed packets, which I really dig. So I'm gonna be kind of careful because there's sticky stuff on this, but I more or less just want to like get this even around the house and sort of even on the page like that. And then I'm just going to press it down. And then I'm going to open this and to quote Lynn, burnish it well to make sure that all the glue is stuck down because I really don't want like well, the cat just knocked down a lamp. If I look darker, that's why. And then then I'll just, if there's any remaining sticky, I'll get it off. But yeah, there we go. I think that's a pretty cool cover. You do have some extra space here, so if you wanted to stamp or like monogram it later, we still have the ability to do that. But let's start playing around. I kind of just want to start collaging this page first because I really want to use these bee gnomes. And this is the same collection I was using on Lynn's live stream yesterday. See how cute is that? I like these guys. Which is Be Happy from Paper Rose. And if it's still on sale, like it came with sentiments and stuff. And do we want other bee? I think we would want a few other there's some other bees in here. So I think it would be cool to do like the gnomes intermixed with like, oh, we could do a little like, oh, this would be fun. We'll use the guy who's like holding the honey pot. Probably can't see what I'm doing, but I like this guy. So we could have like, because I like that this makes the spread kind of have three elements. Although I feel like you kind of might want something in here. I do like that. I do like the. I like this a lot. I'm not sure what we want to do with the second one. We could pull in some of our florals, which would be nice. We definitely have some boxes. The wagon makes sense to me. Like to just have this and maybe pop this guy up. Because one of the advantages to how we set this up is you can actually pop things up because you have this gusset and have it not be totally weird. I do. I actually packed it, but half the time I wind up using my finger as opposed to a glue eraser. But I do have a glue eraser. I actually got it from Hobby Lobby. No, I got it from Dollar Tree because they were a buck 25. But I usually have a glue eraser, but it's in my packed stuff for next weekend, so I've been slightly lazy. But I do own one. Yes. Isn't it like it's funny because I'm like not really a gnome person, but I very much I like this paper pad a lot. It's just cheerful. And I like sunflower everythings. So, oops. There we go. Here he is. And this one we were gonna pop up. Just grab some scissors quick. Once again, use the wrong scissors, but that's okay. And this is probably my favorite part about these. Well, other than that they fold flat, is that you can use dimensional items on them, and that I think just can be fun. I don't. We'll need that in a minute. Yeah, I just want to make this all trim it down a little itty bit. But yes, the last time I was rubbing glue off with my hands, Jim had mentioned that glue erasers were a thing. And I said, oh, well, that's a good idea. I should probably use one of those. Do I want? There we go. I think that's cute. But like you can still close this even though we just use dimensional stuff because of the gusset. So, but I think that looks pretty cool as like a center thing. I might add some of the littler bees around, but I kind of like it just being like these bizarre gnome bees. And then let's go back to this page, and I want to show you what you can do with some of these leftovers. And I want to save this one to use as so that I can just cut it down a bit and use it as a spine covering piece because I liked how that looked. But this is from the original, or I should say from the cover. What I'm going to do is I'm going to trim this down to 4 inches. I like how that looks with that paper. B paper is a little busy. Or I think the B paper I think will look better with the other spread. So I think we can cut these two down to 4 as well. And basically what this will turn into is a really neat tiered pocket and also use up some of this. Also, the other thing you can do if you're me, obviously, is you can just take the corners off and then boom, it becomes a tag. And like it's kind of fun to like make some of use some of these pieces as tags so there's sort of like a faux bookmark in here. But what I think I'll do is probably going to stagger the patterns a little bit like this. And you kind of have to decide where you want this goes in the opposite direction, but you basically just decide where you want your top pocket, and then you just put a little line of glue around these three sides and figure out where you want your top pocket, and then just put it down and burnish it either with your bone folder or your hand or your whatever so that the glue smushes down. Do the same thing with this, and we're just going to dagger it. And this, because it was part of this like scene piece from the cover, is great because we just sort of flip it and we don't really have to worry about it. And I tend to kind of like to try and even these up, but I don't think it's super necessary for this particular technique. And the neat thing is now you have this pocket that you can potentially stuff with ephemera if you're giving it away to somebody. And you've used up a bunch of your scraps. And I forgot to do this, but the one thing you probably will want to do is not put glue on this first, but just corner whatever corner is going to be in the bottom here, and then you can just line it up. Then this one you can leave clear, or you could do a full set of pockets here. Um, I'll probably leave this one clear for now, and we'll come back. This is also a good place to decorate. We could use one of these bigger pieces like this honeycomb here as well. Could do like the honeycomb at the bottom with like the gnome in front of it. That would be kind of cute. Or the honeycomb with the flower and then the You Are My Sunshine. That might be fun too. Anyway, we will see. But basically, what you can do is now you have a pocket. And how cute is that? Have this nice triple pocket. So anything small you want to put in, you can. Sorry, I kind of did that off camera, but you probably get the idea. You have a nice little pocket to play with. Oops, sorry about that. Yeah, but I do have a glue eraser. We will try to use that on the cover later. Oh, you could do that too. That's a good idea. The frame already had a bunch of dimension, but you could have popped this up. Like if you wanted just a ton of dimension. Yeah, we'll have to go in with the glue eraser on this because you can kind of see the smudge here. So we have this guy done, and then I thought that this like these patterns would work well together. So I think we will do that on here. Yeah, and maybe do it in the back pocket. Leave this free. I think I'll leave this one free for a photo or whoever gets this is personal use. I do like the idea of popping the frames up on foam though. I didn't think of that. That's a good one, Blossom. There we go. And one thing I think I've seen some people do with this particular design is what you can do with like these extra scraps is you could actually die cut something out of that if you want to make even more ephemera. But let us just go and we will. Well, let's do this on the other side this time, just so that it's not like super matchy matchy. I will start with the bees that are not. And if this happened, well, not a real issue with this album because it folds flat. But if this ever happens to you, where it's just flip flopping, you can use it. You can use a weight, but you can also just like use a chip clip if you want to keep it situated while you're working on the rest of your album. As you kind of add weight to things, it will be less of an issue. There's that one. Then this one is the one we rounded the corner on. And there we go. Leave this free, I think, just as a little something something. But I would like to go in. I had an idea. I thought it would be really cool if we thought we could use this piece sort of just as like a background, and then we could put our little gnome guy. Thought we could put our gnome in front of it, and then we could just use the "You Are My Sunshine" and maybe pop that up. I feel like that deserves to be popped up. Oh, that's a good idea too. Yeah, you could definitely use vellum or acetate. Do you know what kind of adhesive do you generally use with that? I don't work with vellum very much, although I think I have vellum. I have colored vellum. I think I have white vellum somewhere. I definitely picked up some holiday vellum I never did anything with. But that's a cool idea. I didn't think of vellum as like I'm just sort of gonna try to make this a little abstract in terms of how this thing is lined up. I love that their little beards like are beneath their feet in this particular ephemera pack. Oh, and I think I might use like one of the bees here. Where did my bees go? Well, this looks like a happier bee. Some of the bees look a bit stern. Yeah, like that or something. We have, and then I really liked. Actually, we could use this here. That would look pretty cool. Then we still have that sort of upper area here we could potentially do something with. Do I have anything? Oh, I have all these honey dippers. That would be kind of cool. We'll see if I like this or not. I was thinking like something like that maybe. Do I have a honey? I think I used my honey pot. That's unfortunate. That's the only downside of working with like die cuts that exist. Oh, I have this cute little tea and something set. A cute little teapot. I might do something with that. But I do like that kind of just sort of floating in the air. Perhaps someone flung it too exuberantly. It doesn't really make sense, but that's okay. What I was thinking is you do these here because I really like. I think these are cute. Whoops, that does not pop out, but like it sort of clustered the little teapot. Maybe lose that guy. I like the teapot. I don't know that I like the other stuff. I definitely like the teapot on the darker colors. But we could just leave it here. That would be kind of cool. Maybe I'll do it just as like an accent piece here. That still leaves this mostly free if you wanted to like put a little photo or whatever, or write a note, Whoever gets the journal can do whatever they want with it. I think that is mostly good. I wanted to see if I had any remaining big scraps. Oh, I do. Well, let's just make a bookmark because I can. They'll be lined on one side. And this is super easy. You just sort of eyeball it, except I eyeballed it wrong. There we go. That's better. And if you have a puncher, I don't see where my puncher went. Oh well, if you have a puncher, you can punch this and put something in here. But what I was thinking is you just stick this in the pocket, have a nice little tag that you can do something with. Actually, we could use this red floral on this too. That'd be kind of cool, actually. Or maybe on this is coffee themed, but um, that's kind of a neat look. I don't know. Since there's no red in this, maybe not a great idea. But basically, what you can do is this, and then you have sort of a bookmark. You can either use this as a bookmark here or just as a bookmark generally. Um, this seems a little basic, so let me see if we have a flower that would fit on it. Not really. We do have a silly little gnome, so maybe I'll put a silly little gnome. I think the person this is going to would appreciate silly gnomes, so let's do that. Wow. I didn't know they had specialty vellum tape. That's cool. I know that some people like dry adhesive and some people are more of a fan of wet adhesive for vellum. But also someone had said that the scrapbook.com double-sided adhesive basically doesn't show on the other side of vellum, so might be a good option if you wanted something that would be a little more versatile where you wouldn't have to be quite as careful. Anyway, so now we have our little gnome, having some extra areas. I like to leave areas for people to do with whatever they want it on, but our sort of midsection, and then our other gnome, then our cover that we need to go in with a goo eraser once I grab it. Actually, I can just do that now. One moment. I know where that is. Here we are. There we go. Yeah, that got rid of it. Hooray. I have a vellum. I I have vellum tape. I have a vellum tape runner. Interesting. Oh, I'll have to check that out. Thank you, Cordelia. But I think that is the project for today. Again, I'm kind of surprised how quickly this all came together. So I think that I really like this as a concept because this would be really fun if you wanted to do like a little more than a card, but maybe not like a super like it's going to take you all day kind of mini album. But I really like how this came out. So um, I'll have to grab one of my stickers and stick it on the back. Maybe do a little ink blend it. Maybe like just put some kind of like a brown on here or something, and then put one of my Craft by J stickers. But anyway, thanks guys. I'm glad that you hung out with me. Whoop, there we go. And I will throw some photos up on the old Facebook groups if you're interested in seeing this in more detail, because I know that the colors on here are a little bit wonky. If you want to see, I think I owe Jim a posting of all my swatches with exactly which lunar paste they are, and like taken as photos as opposed to like the auto adjusty cameras. But anyway, so that'll be coming soon, and I thank you for hanging out, and I will see you. Oh, and my camera just freaked out. So it's a good time to have a, well, let me see if I can. Reminds me of, I don't know if you guys were watching Craft Roulette last week when the same thing was happening to them. There we go. It'll flip in a second. And there we are. We're back. Anyway, so thanks for hanging out. I think it will be a really interesting stream next week because I will probably have 50 cards I don't have now, and I think it'll be fun to sort of debrief and talk about my first live craft event and like meeting actual local crafters, which is a thing I haven't done before. So, anyway, thanks for hanging out. Hope you guys have a great rest of your Sunday. Awesome week, and I'll talk.